Y'all hear what Lizzo's been up to lately? Yo, that's absolutely wild. Now, we're not just talking about her fashion choices, but there has been some claims from some of her former backup dancers about some really sketchy things. And this just all came down yesterday. But now, earlier today, there were some other claims that were added on top of this. So this could be an ever-evolving situation. And, there's a lot to chew on when it comes to this scenario. And given the fact that it's Lizzo, well, we already know that there's a lot of meat there. And if we're talking about chewing, well, might as well consult with the expert. Lizzo claims worsen. Oscar nominee Sophia Allison labels singer a narcissistic bully who has built her brand off lies. You don't say. You might be able to find this very, very early. I think this was like a 2020 story or something that I covered. I actually praised Lizzo. Okay, listen, you got to hear me out here first and foremost. But I actually praised her because she was doing something, I think for a friend or for a business partner or something like that. She was going on a juice fast or a juice diet, something like that. She was going liquid for a hot second. And she said that she was feeling better and that she was dropping weight and all that stuff. And then all of her fans, all of her sycophants that she's cultivated through the entire career of her being this body positivity queen, well, they were starting to attack her because, she was losing weight and then, I don't know, trying to conform to some patriarchy standards or something like that. And I was defending her. It's like, okay, yeah, she's losing weight. She's feeling good. And she's just expressing that because, yeah, obviously that is the most optimal way to live your life. But now, and everything else that she's done, like she's been an absolute fucking clown. Okay, she's been the entire circus, and I'm just not once again talking about her wardrobe. From flagrantly breaking the laws, I think it was in Tennessee where they said, okay, don't have drag shows for children, and that was the first thing that she does the moment that she has a show booked there is bring her drag queens right in front of everybody else and then starts doing provocative dancing. It's like, you absolute brainlet. I wish you had the same amount of intelligence per square inch as you do carbohydrate intake. But I got fat jokes for days. We can just go ahead and sprinkle them in here once we get into these new and semi-new accusations and claims and lawsuits. Director Sophia Nahli Allison, has branded Lizzo a narcissistic bully as she has doubled down on the singer's toxic behavior in her latest post. Allison, an Oscar-nominated filmmaker, has shed more light. Gonna need quite a bit. But what she allegedly experienced when working with Lizzo on a documentary back in 2019. 2019, huh? Interesting. And you've been quiet this entire time. It's interesting because, yeah, I just ended up cutting the video for Trump and then just saying that, okay, a lot of those claims that are in those lawsuits are a bit cap. And generally speaking, like, you can go ahead and take a look at, so many of the things that I cover. I just generally don't believe lawsuits, mostly because the accusations against the people don't really seem to make sense. And some of your evidence is lacking. A lot of it is hearsay. Some of the crimes just don't fit. So we'll see if the crimes fit when it comes to Lizzo. And fit and Lizzo, it doesn't really, string together well in the same sentence. The director first came forward yesterday in a post made in the light of the lawsuit filed by three former backup dancers. Okay, this could be spiteful because also we had another situation where there was, I think like three or four former security guards that worked for Michael Jackson that were trying to extort him for money. And then when their claims ultimately did go to court, they ended up crumpling under cross-examination. So yeah, this could be one of those situations where somebody's just trying to squeeze her for some cash. And it's like, well, there's got to be some under some fold somewhere that you won't miss. Which accused Lizzo of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. Now, see, okay, that's why I set that up by saying that a lot of the cases that I cover, it's like these accusations don't really stick. But then you start to think about this stuff. Sexual harassment, okay, everything that she does is sexualized. So, okay, depending on what we're going with. And she's also one of the lefties that are out there. Mostly because there's not enough room on the righty bus. But she's over there and she tries to make everything sexual. So, okay, it kind of makes sense. And creating a hostile work environment, yeah, because there's no such thing as a happy feminist, okay? Like, you can see the dead in their eyes every single time, except for when a, doorbell rings and you just ordered DoorDash. So, of course, kind of makes sense. So, at least the charges, they passed the smell test. Again, not something that you can normally approximate to Lizzo. Allison followed up on her Instagram story on Wednesday, alleging Lizzo's brand was merely a curated facade. Okay. She shared their, I don't know, why is that difficult to say, her solidarity with those who endured similar experiences, working with the artist and her team. Now, okay, I don't necessarily believe anybody who ties boat rope into their hair and calls it a fashion choice, but what else do you got? What else do you got? To be clear, she said, Allison posted in her stories, since I've spoken out, I've had others privately share their similar experiences. Could be dogpiling. That's actually not a Lizzo joke. It's just a turn of phrase. And have also been affirmed by people who witnessed what I went through. Lizzo creates an extremely toxic and hostile work environment and undermines the work, labor, and authority of other black and brown in the process. See, this is why I don't necessarily want to believe everybody, because she unironically put WOMXN. Notice how the documentary ended up being directed by a cis white man. Okay, so maybe you were untalented. I don't entirely know. But this is another one of those situations where you have the left eats the left, and, well, they're going to be there for a while. And these are the perpetual victim class. So, yeah, that's why I'm a bit trepidatious when it comes to these allegations, because we all kind of know sometimes these people are capping about everything. She is a narcissistic bully who built her brand off of lies. You live on a tower of lies. Well, looks like there's at least some structural integrity when it comes to some of the lies. I was excited to support and protect a black woman through the documentary process, but quickly learned her image and message was a curated facade. I stand with the dancers. Somebody's got to. Well, it depends. If they're backup dancers of Lizzo, they probably require chairs as well. Or at least if you stand with them, hopefully you have strong shoulders. And anyone who has had similar experiences working with her and her team, these working conditions are not okay. Her latest message comes a day after she first shared her experiences directing Lizzo's documentary 4 years ago. Allison began, and she does not normally comment on anything pop culture related, but that she shared that in 2019, I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary. I walked away after 2 weeks and was treated with such disrespect by her. Okay. I witnessed how self-centered, arrogant, and unkind she is. Well, this might be a bit of projection, but okay. I was not protected, and I was thrown into a shitty situation with little support. My spirit said to run as fast as you fucking can, and I'm so grateful I trusted my gut. Well, to be fair, you could probably also trust Lizzo's, and there's plenty of room. She continued, all right. I felt gaslit and was deeply hurt. See, I see these words, and I'm just immediately like, cap. But I've healed. Reading these reports made me realize how dangerous a situation it was. The kinds of abuse of power happen far too often. Much love and support to the dancers. Now, here's where we get to the original accusations, because these are just the new ones. These old ones from yesterday are fucking wild, man. And the fact that they're down in a lawsuit lends at least a little bit of credibility. But if we just take a look at the Tate situation, we also know that bitches be lying, especially ones who have a fiduciary benefit at the end of the rainbow. Except nobody involved in this situation is small enough to be a leprechaun. Lizzo, whose real name is Melissa Vivian Jefferson. Where does the Lizzo part come? Like, that makes no fucking sense. Faces a legal battle after her ex-backup dancers alleged she commented on their weight and pressured one to touch a nude performer in a strip club. Wait, there's more. The plaintiffs, their former dancers, are named in the lawsuit as Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noelle Rodriguez. Williams and Davis both appeared on the recent Amazon Prime reality show, Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls. Oh, God, no, about the singer's quest to find backup dancers. All right. It accused the famous singer of inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers. Wait, what? Okay, inside an Amsterdam strip club, the suit states. Okay, so if you guys all go to a strip club and you're saying, okay, all of the girls here are free use, I guess the aggrieved party, wouldn't those be the whores? Oh, I'm sorry, the strippers. I need to be a little bit more accurate or pointed with my descriptions here. But okay. She allegedly encouraged catching dildos launched from the performers' vaginas. Man, I'm old enough to remember when strippers would just do that with ping pong balls, not dildos. Fuck. And eating bananas protruding from the performers' vaginas. Ew. Haram. Yo, man, I wouldn't even do that. That shit's fucking gross. Have you ever seen a vagina? Gross. Ron Zambrano, a woman's lawyer, sent a suit revealed first by NBC News the stunning nature of how Lizzo and her management team treated their performers. It seems to go against everything Lizzo stands for publicly. Again, more like breasts for publicly. While privately, she weight shames her dancers and demeans them in ways that are not only illegal, but absolutely demoralizing. Well, is there such a level of illegal fat shaming? Because I want to know that statute. It's illegal in the court of progressive law, but in actuality, if I want to call a fat chick, well, first of all, why would you talk to fat women? Unless you're telling them to run, fatty. But yeah, it could be demoralizing. But is that necessarily worthy of money? I don't really know. Lizzo is not the only defendant in the case, also filed in Los Angeles Superior Court on Tuesday. Yeah, it's a very interesting situation, and of course it's very salacious given the fact that, okay, one of the allegations in the court suit is some of the backup dancers were asked to eat a banana out of a chick's cooch. Like, the fuck is going on here? And again, like I said, why I think that there's at least a little bit of believability here is because a lot of it is sexual. Just about all of it is sexual in nature, and it involves leftist hypocrisy. We know that that is about the easiest thing to prove in the entire world. It's right up there with the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But then also, there is something involving eating, and it does have Lizzo on it. So again, kind of inclined to agree with the plaintiffs in the case in this one. But we'll obviously have to hear more from the other side on this for them to clarify their stance. I'm just hoping, though, if this does eventually go to trial, not that it's televised, okay? It's in California and there's not going to be any cameras in there, is that the courtroom does get adequate notice that everybody's going to be showing up to court so that they can properly reinforce the floorboards. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.